Ashish Navik. Hope and pray that you all are doing well in these times of pandemic. Today, 30th August 2021, we all have gathered here on this virtual Zoom platform to attend a session on scholarships for education in foreign universities by resource person of the day, Dr. Liji Santosh, Vice Principal of Bansanghas SM Shetty College of Science, Commerce and Management Studies. I would like to welcome Principal of our college, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, Vice Principals, Dr. Liji Santosh, and Professor Sandesha Shetty, Coordinator of the Department of Management Studies, Assistant Professor Nidhi Chandorkar, all the coordinators of the college, my colleagues, and my dear participants. I extend a very warm welcome to you all. Now, I would like to invite Principal of our college, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, to deliver the welcome address. Principal, sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Ashish. Good afternoon, everybody. The resource person and also the vice principal of the college, Dr. Liji Santosh, vice principal, Professor Sandesh Shetty, BMS coordinator, Professor Nidhi Chandorkar, all my colleagues, teachers, and dear students. I'm observing there is a trend that from SM Shetty College every year, more than 50 students take the transcript to fly abroad for their higher studies. Whenever time permits, I invite them to my cabin also. I just develop a dialogue with them to which country you are going, which course you are pursuing, etc., etc. Dear students, this trend gradually started from 1990. After the globalization, because after the globalization, actually the physical terrorist boundaries are removed for goods as well as for services. Education is being included in the service sector. So students used to fly abroad for their, especially masters, to the United States of America, Canada, European countries, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Similarly, so many students coming, thousands and thousands of students coming to India for their UG or the PG programs. Even many students you can see now, even from Afghanistan also. Now, what is the reason behind that? And how we have to select the universities? What kind of fee structure available? So therefore, dear students, we have to make sufficient smart work. And Dr. Liji Santosh is going to highlight today the relevant universities, good universities, the scholarships available, etc. Now, the main intention is when you go abroad, then you will get the global exposure because you can come across students from different countries of the world. Culturally, they are different. Socially, they are different. But you're all sitting in one class. It's also part of the education. So it is not only the academics. It's not only the brightness of the professors which you are going to gain. The total exposure. For example, you are going to gain what do you mean by the global skills, the social skills, life skills, instead of a different kind of syllabus, academics, teaching, and pedagogy. These are very, very important. And these things of some of the countries of the world, they are time tested for the last 20, 30 years. And some of the universities are 100 years old, 150 years old. So therefore, you are going to get that kind of exposure. But to go abroad, to select the university, other things and all that, dear students, you need what is called as a right kind of relevant information. Sufficient information, not inadequate information. Proper information, not improper information. Right information, not wrong information. So these things are absolutely very, very important. One more thing is, your age is 20, 21, waking up 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Each and every decision, I think 60% of the decision taken by your mother only at home. Or father, or sister.
Sir, you are on mute. So you went on mute.
Now it's all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's audible. Perfectly audible.
It's muted now only?
No, sir. Yeah, just 2 seconds ago.
Okay. So each and every decision would be taken by you. You have to stand on your own legs. So it will definitely empower you. Therefore, after 2 years, even though you are going to spend a few lakhs, you will be really a changed person. So I'm really happy that this is the second such program happening within a gap of 1 month. So I'm really delighted to extend my cordial welcome to the resource person, Dr. Liji Santosh, Vice Principal, Professor Sandesh Shetty, the departmental coordinator, Professor Nidhi Chandorkar, then all the faculty members of the BMS department. And dear students, listen carefully, raise the relevant questions, clarify the doubt, and I wish this a program quite fruitful, productive, and you will have many takeaways from this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Principal, sir. Thank you for your wise words. Now I invite Assistant Professor Ashwini Devadiga to introduce the resource person. Ashwini ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Ashish sir. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our resource person for today, Dr. Liji Santosh. Students who've been there for the last sessions would agree that ma'am, with her talks, have proved and have influenced us with the saying that never wait for opportunities to knock your door, create one. So this is another session for you all, another step towards your 1,000-mile journeys that you would be planning ahead. Dr. Liji Santosh is a doctorate in economics and she has 24 years of experience in teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students. Her research career started in 2005 by taking up a project with NABARD as a research assistant. Ma'am has major areas of research projects like bank linkage credit, credit worthiness of women in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. She has presented and published papers at national and international conferences. She has delivered talks on self-help groups, gender equality, gendered experiences, and gender and climate change, studying abroad and funding, research funding, and lockdown musings and mindset for new normal at various forums in India. Ma'am has also chaired several sessions of symposiums and conferences across India. She was also a member of Syllabus Revision Committee at University of Mumbai and also a member of Ad Hoc Board of Studies at NM College of Economics and Commerce. She is associated with NGOs like Economics Club of Mumbai and Women Against Cyber Abuse Foundation. She is currently the vice principal of Band Sangha's S.N. Shetty College, Powai, and also the head of Department of Economics. So we are happy to have you, ma'am, and looking forward for a very enlightening session from you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashwini, for that wonderful words of yours. And I thank and place on record the gratefulness to the department for inviting me again to discuss on studying abroad. Thank you, Principal Sir, for those beautiful words of welcoming me and having faith in me so that I can do this again. This time I was a little alert about like what the student actually need. With my last experience, I learned students need something other than what you call it as scholarships. So I thought, why not I share things, which is going to be very useful for students, not just scholarships, but other than that, the questions which I got last time was related to the standardized test which they are supposed to take when they go abroad, and how to stay there, and visas and so on. So the story was completely different. So therefore, this time I was like, I have done a good research, I hope so, like for putting upon this to the students of BMS and the other college students who have joined us and all the other teachers. So we will move on to the session without wasting time. Last time I've covered Europe. Expectation this time is about USA. Yes, this time USA is there, and also Canada. I have already informed the coordinator that if time permits, then only we will go for Canada because it's afternoon time. People may be hungry and they will not be, so enthusiastic about learning more. So it's better like we limit up to USA. So the first slide itself, not like last time, we are going to start with study in USA and the formalities to be fulfilled when you are going for USA. Thank God for USA, our binational relationship that is between India and US has helped me a lot here because it was all authentic. Everything was available, not much difficult to get into. And I would like to thank the officials of USIEF, that is US India Education Foundation. We have a branch here in Mumbai at Nariman Point for helping me out to shape this entire presentation. So yes, USA. USA is a dream destination for most of the students when they want to go study, go to abroad and then study. Because USA is very welcoming for Indians. We have seen that the way they welcome international students, and most of the students are Indians. So definitely the scene is very different than what Europe was. And obviously Europe has got more scholarships than US when we compare Indian scholarships, because Europe is close to, that's the difference. How to get started? So the first title itself I've given the name as Getting Started. Most important thing is give yourself enough time, which our students don't give. Allow yourself enough time for this process. Around 12 to 15 to 18 months, you begin to, like you first of all think that I am going to study in USA. Why am I going to study in USA? Isn't it? Because on an average, it is said that around 2 lakh students every year go to USA to continue their higher studies. So there is a reason. There are more than 4,000 institutions available in USA to study. And for management students, it's a heaven. So there are like almost all the top universities all over the globe is in USA. So do not underestimate the importance of the essays when you write, because the admission officers, they take application essays and the statement of purpose very seriously. You have to shortlist the universities with a larger plan in mind. Say, for example, the first list you have to take up around 30 and then 15 and then 5. That's the way you should get started yourself. Application timelines in USA, as I told you, 12 to 18 months before your enrollment, you should ready. 10 to 12 months prior to enrollment, like whether it is summer or early autumn, all those things you need to take care. 8 to 10 months before enrollment, and you can lead up to your enrollment. Now, last time, many students had this question about the standardized test. Although I was successful in clearing out their doubts about TOEFL and IELTS, but this time I thought like we will go more because they wanted to know more on GRE and GMAT examinations. So what there are standardized tests like GRE general test that is applicable for all the graduates who are graduated from India or anywhere in the world. GRE subject test, of course, it is not there for management students or, it's basically for the specified science subjects and computer students. So you don't have to take GRE subject test. There is GMAT. It is basically to provide, to get admission in any business school, you have to go for GMAT. But even today, most of the business schools are accepting GRE scores also. LSAT is basically if you want to learn American law, then you have to go for LSAT. Apart from that, as you know, apart from any of one of these tests, you have to go for TOEFL. If TOEFL is mostly accepted in US, or IELTS, which is, as I told you, in Europe, it is most accepted, and British Council is responsible for taking up that. Then we have one more test. It's called as Pearson Test of English Academics, which has been conducted by Pearson Academy. And that also is one of the other tests which is actually available. Moving on to the graduate admission test. Moving on to the graduate admission test, we have, you can say, English language proficiency exam. That is a must because we are not originally English speaking community. So therefore we need to pass either TOEFL or IELTS. It is said that over 4,000 US institutions use TOEFL. I told you like TOEFL is very important in US because TOEFL is used by maximum institutions in US to measure the English language proficiency and international applications. IELTS is also recognized and accepted by more than 1,700 educational institutions in USA. So this is the two types of tests which you need to understand. Now let's learn more on GRE and GMAT because that was the doubt last year, last time everybody was asking about. GRE, the full form is Graduate Record Examination, and basically GRE is applied for master's program. Since you all are undergraduate students, definitely you will be applying for master's program. And GMAT is Graduate Management Admission Test. So it is said that over 1,900 graduate business schools around the world use GMAT score as for their admission purpose. So we should understand the difference between GMAT and GRE very clearly. So the next few slides are about that. If you are interested, you can take the screenshot of the same and keep as I told you last time. Now, moving on to this, why you should take a GRE and why you should take a GMAT. So that difference has been shown in a very distinctive manner. Why I should take it, right? That's question number one. GRE is a test which is required for admission to most graduate schools and a growing number of business schools, whether it is an engineering college or anything, but GRE is needed. If it is GMAT, it is required for admission in most of the business schools. So if you are a management student, you wanted to get into a business school, GMAT is ideal for you. But in case if GMAT is not accepted by that particular university, then go for GRE. Got the difference? Now, what is the test structure? Test structure is same like the way normal competitive examinations are there. GRE consists of analytical writing section, 2 essays, and then 2 30 minutes verbal reasoning sections and so on. And GMAT is also another similar way. There will be an analytical writing and a quantitative section. You know, like mathematics is important. So you need to study for mathematics for both GRE and GMAT. Then what is a test format? Test format, this is an American saying, like they call it as computer adaptive. That means our online exams. Okay, nothing else, our online exam. How it is scored? Verbal quantitative scores in GRE is from 130 to 170 in 1 point increment. And GMAT, it is a little different. You can see that in GMAT, it is 200 to 800 in 10 point increment. So the points and all will be told later. Now let's see the cost. GRE all over the world, it is $205, but for Indians, it is $213. Okay. Approximately, you can say 17,800, 900, something like that it will be. So GMAT cost, GMAT is same all over the world. It is $250. So when you will apply for these things, see to it that in the first attempt itself, you are scoring well, because $250 means around 18,300 plus rupees. Okay, so that's a huge amount. So don't think that you are wasting your time on just repeatedly giving tests and all. Now the testing time for GRE is 3.75 hours and GMAT it is 3.5 hours. How long the scores are valid? The scores are valid for 5 long years. So that's really good. So therefore, students see to it that like you are giving GRE with a lot of preparations. And who will help you for preparing all these things? For preparing all these things, we have USIEF, that is United States India Education Foundation. I'll keep on repeating this name again and again because that is the one destination where you all have to go and you all have to get all the information about USA. Shortlisting the universities, yes. When one shortlists the university, like last time I was, in general I have told you, but this time I'm telling you in particular, shortlisting the universities in USA, you have to look into the cost. Cost matters a lot. Look at the tuition and the fees, room and the board, and you will need additional funds for books and your miscellaneous living expenses. You have to see the place. If you're planning to go for Washington, DC, then see to it that you are having minimum 90 lakhs in your hands. It's really expensive. New York. Then size. Size affects atmosphere of the college. Why size is written? I'll tell you why. There are small colleges and then large institutions, right? In US, anywhere else, you can see that. Professors in the large institutions with big name, they will be very busy in their research and then activities. But if it is a small university or a small institution in US, you will get ample time to interact with those people and then you will be getting enough time to learn further because anyhow you are spending. Education is an investment. When education is an investment for you, you should take maximum returns from that, isn't it? So if you want to have maximum returns from that, definitely you should see to it that the size of the college and how busy the people are over there, accordingly take a decision. Right? Faculty and their research also matters for the students a lot. It is important for the graduate students to consider this criterion because they have to do a substantial research work if they are planning to continue in USA. So shortlisting the university, I've covered 3 points. Another 3 points is selectivity of the program matters a lot because here your own academic background and your own intellectual potential, you have to take care. Then the financial aid. Usually it goes with the applicants with strong academic qualifications. If your academic qualifications are very strong, so nothing is going to, stop you. Nothing is going to stop you and you can have, I must say, you can have enough time to compete yourself with others. So there is nothing is going to happen, like it's going to be very good for all of you. So now financial aid, like it also depends upon the GRE and your GMAT scores, your research in that area, teaching. I mean, it's so for everybody. I said PhD students are more favored for funding in US. Location and housing. Always, this is a tip. I'm going to give you some more tips at the end. Some students, when they leave India and go to US, what they found is generally it is like researched out and find, people have found out that like some students get asthma attacks often, although they didn't have any problems here in India. Simple reason, the climate may not be suitable for you because over there it is very, very cold. And some students, it's like not suitable for them and they become, victim of allergy and some kind of. So you should see that whether the allergy, the area in the country, the campus setting, whether the campus is in a city or in a rural area, location, housing matters a lot because housing also take away a lot of your money. Now, when you apply to universities in USA, what all things are required? Basic things, your standard application form. Obviously, it is in the electronic form, that is in the online form. Around, you can say 2 to 8 pages of application form, wherein this application form will be asking about your personal details, your hobbies, and what all things you have been doing, your academic career, and about everything they will be asking on this. Standardized test scores also matters a lot. Then the transcripts, you all know that the transcripts are the official statements provided by your own institution or your own college about you, like how good you were and how, because we have a counter here in the college only meant for providing transcripts. That means there are so many students going abroad and we have counters for providing transcripts. So that's like about transcripts. Personal statements, that's last time I told you, when you are choosing a university, they want to know why Harvard, or why Princeton, why Columbia. So all this kind of, why Lincoln? So all this kind of questions you have to answer in your statement of purpose. Why are you choosing that particular university? There is a separate research statement, sometimes required for requesting your research interest and all your plans, basically for the PhD student. And you need an LOR, that is called as recommendation letter, letter of recommendation, 2-3 recommendation letters generally they say. So you need to take ample time to collect all these things, basically the transcripts, the recommendation letters, the research statement. So that is the reason why I told in the beginning, take 12 to 18 months in advance in the beginning, so that, you know, it's very easy for you to move ahead with this life. CVs sometimes required, but yes, it is good that you prepare your CVs. How to enrich your CVs? To enrich your CV, in the last session I told you, you need to be a participant in almost all the activities. If you are there in the college doing your NSS, your extension activities, your DLLE, all this work is going to give an edge for you over other applicants. So when you show your leadership skills through student council, when you show your communication, community development skills through your NSS extension activity, you will get an edge on your CV. Sometimes for MBA applicants, like you are planning to do MBA abroad, so you may have to face an interview. Nowadays, it's obviously, it used to be a telephonic interview in the beginning. Nowadays, it is of course an online interview, face-to-face interview. Application fee for approximately, it comes around $50 to $100 per application. So it doesn't come very cheap for you. So when you think that I will apply for 20 universities, 30 universities, it is not wise. So that is the reason why I told you, you need to shortlist the universities in such a way that you spend less. So application fees itself is $50 to $100 per application. And it again, depends on which university you apply. Next common question being asked by student is about their student visa. Basically, there are 3 types of visas, but 2 is majorly applicable for students who are going to abroad, basically to USA. Like one is F1 student visa. That is for normally when you go and do your MBA over there, stay there. This is for that. Then it comes to J1 exchange visitor visa. This is for those Fulbright scholars who are continuing their education in exchange of Indian exchange program. So all these students, this J1 exchange visitor visa has been kept. Now comes to the major point, that's about paying for US education. Students, it's not that easy to pay for. So it is said that like your family savings and everything matters. So that is again categorized into 4. The first one talks about personal and family savings. So first of all, if you are planning to go for studying abroad, you need to have your family savings, and there should be a sizable amount in your family account that also has to be shown to the US university, because that's very important, because they want to see that whether it is affordable for the family to take the child ahead in that particular universities. Educational loans are being provided by almost all the banks across India. Need not worry. It has even been provided by many other agencies. Like you can say Tata is one of the best example. Even Rotaract Club is providing that kind of educational loans to the students. Apart from that, we get funding even from US universities. And also there are a lot of scholarships from external funding bodies. So now let's learn like what are these scholarships from the external funding bodies. So we'll go for the difference between fellowship and assistantship funding from US universities. Usually, what is a fellowship and what is an assistantship? We should understand the difference. Usually, both the types of funding are called as a renewable to year. For example, if Ashwini is a student doing her master's at Harvard and her GPA score increases next academic year, her assistantship or her fellowship, which will increase. So that means she will be getting more money if she performs academically well. So that's very important. If the student maintains a specific academic standard, such as minimum 3.0 GPA is required, otherwise your funding by the university will also be removed. So fellowship can be thought as an outright grant, while assistantships are like funding offered in return to the services provided to the university. So that means in the university, you can work as an assistant teacher, teaching and helping your professor. It is like around 20 to 30 hours in a week, maximum 20 to 30 hours in a week. You can work in that way, and then you can be getting some kind of assistantships money along with that. So you can learn, you can also you can become an assistant to your teacher, professor as in research, and then you can earn a lot of, some kind of money. So fellowship is direct grant, which you will be getting a money in lump sum to continue your education. Assistantship is always welcome because while learning, you will be doing some work and you will be learning more. So this is two different things, like, when you will comes to fund fellowship and assistantship. I hope it is very clear to everybody. If it is clear, then type yes. Otherwise, I will not go ahead. Yes, students. Yes or no? Am I audible? Yeah. Yes. I'm getting continuous yes. Yes. Okay. So we will see now this one. So as I often say, take a screenshot and keep, because it's about scholarship from external funding bodies, funding for US studies, international education, and all these things, even including World Bank funds. What else you need? Yeah. And India mein hamare liye to Rotaract Club is very popular, isn't it? Because we can understand what is Rotaract Club. So these are the some websites through which you have to go, and I will give you one-time solution for one great funding. That is towards the end. Yes. So have you seen this, students? I hope you all have taken the screenshot. Yes, students, have you taken the screenshot? Samai saying yes. Yeah, Vrishali also said yes. So that means I can go ahead. So you all have taken the screenshot. This is one place, which is very, very important, scholarships from funding bodies. Now comes the, you can say the lion or the giant of this entire thing. Now, once comes to United States India Education Foundation, which I was telling you, I will keep on repeating because it's about US. This is a one-stop destination for students going to study abroad, basically in USA. I'll tell you the story later, but let me tell you now what's opening it for you. This is about the Fulbright Scholarship. Who all can apply for Fulbright Scholarship? I can, because I belong to economics. Teachers ko separate grants are there for Fulbright Scholarship. So now this United States India Education Foundation funded back when during Nehruji's time, Jawaharlal Nehru and a US president at that time have signed a pact that's called as a binational agreement between these two nations. And then they thought of giving this kind of a forum between these two nations, an exchange. So the students from US also can come here and study, and we can go there and study. And if you are a Fulbright scholar, as I told last time also, like our registrar of University of Mumbai is a Fulbright scholar because he belongs to English literature. But there is public policies and there are so many other areas through which you can actually go for this Fulbright scholarship. Don't worry that, if you cannot, SNA hota. So what are the fellowships comes under Fulbright scholarships, which is provided by United States India Education Foundation. So they are Fulbright Nehru Fellowship, Fulbright Kalam Climate Fellowship, other Fulbright Fellowship like Humphrey Fellowship, this is from Germany it comes, then foreign language, teaching assistant program, even for school teachers, this kind of fellowship is available. Then you can say for scholar in residence program and another distinguished areas are of course there. What is a grand benefit of this great scholarship, which is, signed by those two nations? Grand benefit is the fellowship will provide you with a J1 visa support free. Then round trip economy air class travel from fellows home city to the host institution in US. Funding for tuition and fees, living related cost and everything. Accident and sickness coverage as per US government guidelines. That is also been covered. Seriously, students, you all should apply for it. Okay, even though your subject is not, but yes, you should. Now, some of the scholarships, which of course I cannot forget management people, right? So Indian scholarships for studying MBA in US. What are they? Stanford University, everybody knows, yes. So there is a collaboration between Stanford, Reliance Dhirubhai Ambani scholarships for Indian students to continue their MBA in US. So they give 5 fellowships per year. Scholarship amount is approximately, you can see $150,000. Great, right? So this is one big scholarship. If you are capable enough to catch this, to go for it. And this is every year they provide, but it's for Stanford University. Then Akhtar Ali H Tobacco Wala Fellowship. This is given to 2 scholars. Again, $25,000 US. It is not less. Indian Trust Fellowship is also there for 2 students. Scholarship amount is $10,000 US. Not less, but these all things will help us to, you can say, to do better. So therefore, Indian scholarships for studying MBA in US. This is very, very important. This website, if you will check it out, students, it's called as EduPass. So it is saying that getting into the college, paying for the college. So every financial aid is provided here to continue your studies in US universities. Now I told you there is a one-stop destination for getting all the funds for US study, and that is IIE. Okay, now IIE is, like it's very written. It's just a screenshot yesterday taken from the website of IIE. So it's like written, welcome to funding for US on study online. So you can see this is the website IIE. You can try it if you are online, and you can try this website now. Funding for US study for home. So what you need to do is over there, they can get the grants. You have to type here, for example, MBA, sponsoring organization. You have to write the sponsoring organization if you have any name, otherwise leave it. Select an area of study. They will be showing business studies, management, and so on. Location, yesterday, for example, I was checking for Michigan University, one of my favorite, hopefully yours also. So all those, Michigan University provides a lot of huge scholarships for students. So every university comes under the region, Michigan will come, and then you can select those, how much funding has been there and how much you are going to get it. Everything you will be getting from this one-stop destination for funding for US study. And it is authentic, it is original, there is no worry about it. Okay, suggested by, again, whom? United States India Education Foundation. USIEF, which is here at Mekha Bhavan, there at Nariman Point in Mumbai, very close to us. So you see this IIE funding for US study. Do not forget to go for this, because this will teach you how to get fund for learning abroad. Yes, class? Students, so can I move? Shall I move ahead? Yeah. So now I'll tell you this is what you need to study. I told you this is the one-stop destination, that is United States India Education Foundation. They provide everything to the students. Now there is a new announcement about the university fairs, because US university fairs are conducted by USIEF every month. So that if you'll attend the fair, they will take you for a virtual tour of all the universities in USA. And they will show you like which university funds you, how much, how to apply for visa, and so on. So everything is available there. So you need not worry about it. Then, yeah, this is some history about it. I told you already, like it is about a mutual understanding between US and India long back. And so far around 20,000 Fulbright Nehru scholarship has been awarded for Indians. That is truly good, because it's not at all easy to get it. You need to have so much of, academics. When it comes to QS rankings, 2021 data states, Princeton University tops 1. Rank number 1 is Princeton University. You can see here, this is amazing. Everybody knows this? Harvard. Rank number 2 is Harvard University. It is good for business studies. Business School of Harvard is no doubt world famous. And everybody heard about Harvard. And we educate leaders who make a difference in the world, right? That's what Harvard always says. And Harvard is everybody's dream destination. Number 3 is Columbia University. It is in the city of New York. A little expensive, but worth learning if you can afford to study at Columbia. Columbia University ke bare mein, I'll tell you one more thing. Like we have a Columbia Center in Mumbai. I don't know how many of you have gone through. I have gone 2 times over there. And later on, of course, COVID came. Otherwise, I would have gone. They keep good session for the public and for the students. You can attend there. It's very close to, you can say, Churchgate railway station. Definitely you can go there and see the building over there in Columbia. And yeah, if you are interested, I can give you the address. Columbia University ka one, one office is there. They conduct sessions. They definitely promote students to get into USA and study. So I told you, just not like that 2 lakh Indians every year migrate to US only for studying in such good universities. So I have only shown you 3 universities, which is there in USA. So because the last time I have taken enough time, I think I'm not taking much time this time to go slow. Now, I want to give you some tips before you go to US. I feel like as a senior teacher, I should give you some tips. See, students, if you are planning to go to USA and you want to continue your studies over there, you are living there as a foreigner, right? So it's not your country. It's not your country. So what is required is you will be living as a foreigner in the new culture. It's a new culture. So it will be very difficult for you to living in India and living as a native citizens, right? So you have to take some efforts to begin that particular, to bridge that cultural gap. You may be getting often a cultural shocks. So you have to bridge that cultural gap between you students to understand the cultural misunderstanding. You have to be very polite. You have to be very calm, stay calm, and then listen to others. Living as a foreigner, that's very important. Second most important thing is living comfortably while studying. So the advice is always take a home, you can say, very close to the university, or else at least it's very close to the shuttle. But the common advice is like how in India we have hostels, there are dormitories. So if you will go and stay in dormitories, you can stay collectively. And apart from the benefit of the dormitory is that you don't have to look into the house maintenance like your electricity, gas, bill and all. You can avoid that kind of an expenditure. So a dormitory is always advisable. Okay. And comes about medical insurance. It's very important to have a medical insurance when you will think about going abroad anywhere, because international students are required to have medical insurance. Because their medical, you cannot afford to have their, get treated in US if you don't have a medical insurance. So therefore, you must have a medical insurance. Consult your university's International Student Services Center, from where you will be able to know about the medical insurance. Conversing with American people. First thing is that we always have a problem about our accent. And when we speak, we are a little fast in speaking. Go slow. Because Americans need to understand what you want to converse with them. Talk to them. Talk about their culture. Talk about their, their history. You can converse with the American professors because you have to utilize that particular period over there. So conversing with American people is like go slow with your language, because we are not natives of Americans, and we need to be very, speed come karke you have to talk. It's very important. Developing the cross-cultural network is very important, because when an Indian student goes abroad, it is often seen that you tend to live with Indians because you are very happy with Indians. Right. But don't miss out the opportunity to interact with the people of other ethnicities so that you will learn further, you will learn better. Right. Preserving your personal information is very important. Do not share your personal information with others. Never share your social security cards with anybody. Never share your credit cards and all. And also do not ask an American what is their salary. Never. Because Americans prefer their, you can say, privacy a lot. So do not encroach upon that. So keep your privacy as well as respect their privacy too. Very important. Learning basic cooking is very important because in America, Indian food is expensive. And when you get the culture shocks, it is better to learn the basic cooking of cook before you leave for US. Learn your basic cooking, like, you know, the basic masala making or your dal chawal type of thing. Learn, very important. Shopping in US, like you can say Walmart and other kind of shopping complexes are one-time shop for everybody. So it's always better to have. Now we have come to an end for America now. Like I will end up with this useful website, but I need to explain this website. It's very important. Please take a screenshot of these useful websites because they are quite a large in number. So first website is obviously about usief.org.in. This is an official website of United States India Educational Foundation. So it provides all information about your fellowships, scholarships, everything. And in case if you cannot afford the consultants, because majority of the students, when they go abroad, they see to it that they are going to a consultant and then they are getting the information about the universities. And as per the consultant's choice, they change the university's choice and so on. My advice is don't do that. If it is US, directly go to USIF. Take their appointment. They are available on all weekdays between, I think, 10 to 5. So you can take their appointment and go. Since it is COVID time, they are providing online assistance also to the students. So you all can go to USIF office, or else you can log into their website. You will be getting every information. And a guide to US higher education, you will be getting educationusa.information. That is another authentic website through which you will get all the practical information about living in USA. Petersons.com is a leading search engine of all the colleges and universities across USA. So if you really want online degrees or private schools or study guides to students, everything, it's like a huge encyclopedia about US education. So you can get into these websites and then you will be getting the information. Standardized test about whether it is your TOEFL or these are the websites. There are 3 websites like ets.org and TOEFL and so on. So they will give you sample papers also. So you can do practice test and then you can, then they will be showing you the reporting scores. So these websites are providing you, offering you a lot of free things. Application packets, when it comes to like application packets, you can the information about for preparing the successful application. As I told you, you have to prepare SOP, you have to prepare your essay, you have to prepare so many things. So all those things are provided with this on this particular website, commonapp.org and statementofpurpose.com. So these particular websites will help you to prepare a very good statement of purpose and to prepare a good application, to prepare a good CV at free of cost. So please see to it that, you all are using these websites so that you are completely prepared to go for US, not at the last minute after getting the college degree and so on. Don't do that. Next thing which I need to tell you in little detail about accreditation. See, in India, we have 1 or 2, 3 accreditation agencies, like we have NAC, we have NBA for engineering colleges. So if our college as such, I told in the last session also, like if we are an NAC accredited college, US universities accept our college because a NAC accredited with A grade. So you know that it said that 16 years education is not required. So most of the universities accept us as a 3 years graduation in case if your college is an A grade NAC accredited college. But still there are some who ask you to do some coursework before applying for it and complete that 16 years period. But it depends upon college, institution to institution. Okay. So about American accreditation, so there is no as such government agency like India, like NAC and MBA, NBA over there. So this website called as shia.org, they will scrutinize those institutions which are accredited and which are very good accredited. Otherwise, there is a possibility like the students will land up in entering into a wrong college, and then they may, get into trouble. So don't get into trouble when such kind of problems comes in. Therefore, check into these accreditation website and then go ahead with it. Another useful application, I told you about accreditation, about financing. About the funding university, I already shown you about IIE.org, and then also financial aid, finaid.org is another areas wherein it has been shown to all of you. So the Institute of International Education homepage with links, everything is shown there about financing education. Coming to visa information, students, one has to be very, very careful when it comes to visa. So about visa information, you can see this New Delhi's embassy, usembassy.gov, very important place. So United States Embassy and New Delhi website has a lot of information about the visas, current affairs, and American Information Resource Center. So you need to study a thorough, very well about all this particular websites and learn about it. Then life becomes very easy. When you want to see like what is an overview of US education system, a smart student's guide to study in United States. So these edupass.org and ed.gov, that's a Government of India website, you will be finding out all the overview of US education system. And when you want to before departure to USA, states pre-departure information, you can see educationusa.state.gov. All you need to, before you pack your bags to US. Because there are a lot of, this packing thing is very, very interesting, because if there are anybody whose son or daughters, or you can say your cousins or your brothers have gone to US or any foreign universities, their package, that packing is very, very precious. So what you should pack and what you should not, unnecessarily you cannot, fill your baggage with unnecessary, not required things. So you need to be very careful what you should pack and what you should not. So there is an information provided by states, pre-departure information is also in this particular website. So this is the university virtual fair, which is coming up and organized by USIEF, that is United States India Education Foundation. So I think graduate virtual fair is already over, but undergraduate virtual fair is coming up on September. So here I end with USA education. I was told that, I am supposed to take 2 states today. One is US and another one is about Canada. Okay, so here I am with US education, I'm completing US. Ashwini, I think I can take up the questions about USA now before proceeding to Canada.
Sure, ma'am.
If any, I don't think so any other, because somebody has asked about, I saw about Germany, because Germany last time only we covered, I think we have done a lot of coverage about Germany. So yeah, anybody has got any questions about other than, this or anything you have, you can ask now, because Canada has got a separate set of learning. Yes, students. If not, we can move.
Okay, Hamid sir, there is a question in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay.
This question, I could see this, no, like what exam score, like all Ivy League colleges will accept. This is a personal question to me. And there are many questions. Yeah, very good. I'm so happy to see receive many questions. If we were to apply university in the fall, yeah, this I will show you in the next coming slides in Canada, because it's almost the same. So it's not a big thing when we should apply. Basically, in USA, the session starts from, I think, from September onwards. So you need to, the application process begins in March onwards. So you can see the website. And one more thing I would like to say that, university to university, even the score to everything differs. So we need to be very careful about how to apply. Is there any job experience? Job experience is preferred, but again, it depends upon university to university. If you don't have any, but if you have completed your 16 years education, and if your college, as I said, is an accredited college with A grade, USA accepts your 3-year degree also, but be careful while choosing the colleges. And and also during the fall. Yes. So Anouska, I think in Canada, it is very clearly written like how to fall and how to go get into along with that. So yeah, these were very standard and very good questions, students. I appreciate. And any doubts related to your stay or your visas or USIEF or anything, you can please ask, because USIEF is exclusive to US. Canada has got somebody else. Yeah. So I think this USIEF thing is very good. See, I'm not ending here, students. We have Canada to go ahead. Study in Canada. So students who wanted to study in Canada, I think I'll go ahead with this. Yes, Ashish, I would like to go ahead with Canada. Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you can start with Canada.
So, yeah, Ruben is actually waiting for Canada. Yeah, because I saw, like, as I said, I'm ending with USA people. I could see like some people are leaving. So I said, yeah, we have to start with Canada. So Canada, one of the, why Canada, and one of the most preferred destination now, and why it is so, because there are so many Indians now. One, you can see that like Punjab is, some states in Canada is known as a mini Punjab also, because there is so many migration happening in, and Canada is welcoming all educated Indians to establish their states over there. So why Canada? First reason, it's affordable. Education is affordable. Innovative and abundant research opportunities in Canada. Immigration possibilities is to the maximum in Canada. Exciting campus lifestyles in Canada. Healthy life, safe communities in Canada. International students can often work. There is no restrictions to work while they study, and they can also get a lot of internship in Canada. These are the basic reasons why Indians prefer Canada over any other nation, right? What is the eligibility criteria? Very important. यहाँ पर थोड़ा little less than USA. USA, as you know, the world ranking institutions are there in USA, so their criteria is also different. So the minimum eligibility criterion to be a graduate, you can say 50% score from a UGC. I mean, we are a UGC recognized institution, or AICT, or any recognized universities in India. The graduation degree has to be completed within the stipulated time. That means if you have joined in like, for example, this current batch of TY, they have joined in 1920, then their graduation will get over in this academic year 21-22. So you need to complete it in 3 years only. You cannot complete it in several years. Like it's written, BCom is a 3-year degree. So the client should have completed it in 3 years' time. Engineering is a 4-year degree, so they should complete it in 3 years' time. That basically means, students, you should not have any backlogs. Like your ATKT should not be there. So that is the basic eligibility criteria for Canada. Now, Canada, the best part is, like, why Canada? I told you why Canada. Stay back period in Canada and the post-graduation work permit is amazing. So a student needs to pursue a course for a minimum duration of 8 months to be eligible to stay back in Canada. So if you will complete any course within 8 months ka bhi course karoge, so you will be eligible to stay back in Canada. So that's the best part about Canada. Then a course less than 8 months does not allow the client to stay back. And if a client pursues 2 years course like a master's or a diploma, then their work permit also will go up. So like 2 years master's or diploma course, etc., graduation work permit is been provided. Now the cost of studying in Canada, undergraduate program, it is around, you can say $12,000 to $25,000 per year. For a postgraduate program, it is little higher, $24,000 to $35,000 per year. Doctoral degree is very cheap because they have been funded very heavily. That is the reason that, you know, because, and it also runs into sessions. So it is $7,000 to $10,000 per year. Now I told you about this fall semester, winter semester, summer semester. There are 3 semesters over there. For fall semester, the popular intake starts in the month of, like in US also, in the month of September. For winter semester, I think somebody asked this question. Winter semester, it starts in the month of January. And for summer semester, because they take it in 3 particular semesters, usually starts from April, May. And this intake is also available only for some limited. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
So, so the intake is also for limited programs over there, you know, for the colleges and all those things. So this is summer semester is very different. Fall and winter is work authorization for the students. If you are a student applicant, you want to be, first thing is you should be, if you want to work in Canada and after your completion of your 8-month studies or your graduation or anything, so your student must be over 18 years of age. That is criteria number 1. Then international students can work on campus or on off campus. You know, this is very important, or on off campus during these whole semesters, full time, 20 hours, you know, for up to 20 hours during the semesters. Like in a week, 20 hours, they say, winter or summer holidays also, and without the need of any kind of work permit. It's very important. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the college. So the foreign students who are studying in a program that requires a work experience, such as through a cooperative internship program, also they can take up. Canada students ka visa requirement are something little different, but take same almost. You should have a valid passport. For even for America, you should have a valid passport. You should attest your 10th, 12th and degree certificates. Academic references too is required. Employer references, as somebody was asking if I work experiences, if you have any employer references, that will definitely matter. SOP, the statement of purpose, is also the certificates for extracurricular activity achievements. I was keep on telling to the students whenever I take sessions for the students, any extracurricular activities you go through in your college life, it never goes waste when you apply abroad, because everything matters over there. So all your certificates of all extracurricular achievements matters a lot. So therefore, participate maximum in extracurricular activities so that, you know, you are going to really earn a lot of credits for that. And the proof of payment of fees, proof of financial fund. I told you in the beginning only that your, your parents or your whoever is your guardian's account should have certain lakhs of rupees and so on. Passport size photos, study permit and visa, English proficiency test you should pass on. Then your university will make you aware about your application and its process. As far as Canada universities are concerned, rest everything is almost the same like US, staying and everything. Expensive to have students, but okay, it is affordable also. When you see Canada ranking and global ranking, Canada ranking 1, Toronto University is number 1, then McGill, then University of British Columbia. It's in the it's also said that British Columbia accepts Indian universities very easily. There is not much problems. So you can actually apply, and it is ranking number 3 in Canada. Up to, you can say, Alberta and Waterloo and Western University, Queen's University, University of Calgary. All these universities are very good and they are equally funding you very well. Now, like USIEF, but not like USIEF, also I will say, we also have an agency to, promote Canadian education. And it was during Lal Bahadur Shastri, our second Prime Minister of India. That time, there was a binational agreement again. And that is very popularly known as SICI. SICI, okay, that is Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. You have to say it again. That is SICI, and that is Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. So you cannot forget this name. They do provide grants and awards to teachers as well as to the students. And these, we have one campus at University of Mumbai of Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. They do conduct this kind of program and this kind of, like things. And now when it comes to Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute, you can see something over here, the latest news. This is for my current second year students. How many of you are from second year now in this here? Second year students who are there, say yes, I am from second year, raise your hands. Yes, students, go to this website. If you have a passport right now, please apply for this. This is a golden opportunity for all my students. And what's that? Now there are 4 to 5 students who have already raised their hand. They said, I am there in this. So this Shastri Institute, this is like, traveling to Canada with your stipend for living expenses, professional development workshop, local global link mentors. This is amazing opportunities for students who really want to go to Canada and get this. Do not miss this opportunity. So go to, what did I say? The name, Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. Open the website. The last date of application is September 22nd at 1 p.m. because it is Pacific Standard Time, PST. Okay. So you have to apply it before that. What you need is a valid passport. If you can get the passport quickly, if you have an updated Aadhaar card, you will get the passport quickly. Otherwise, you will be held on. Okay. And then see the conditions and if possible, apply and see to it that, May 22nd, it is starting. It is a 12-week in Canada. You are going to get all the living expenses is going to be funded. You will be living in Canada and you are going to get this internship. Excellent it is. Right? So go and apply for this. Do not miss this because this is for, it is said that by the time it will be May 22nd, you will be in the higher seniors. That means you will be in your final year of your graduation. So it is basically for those students who are in their final year of graduation. Isn't this amazing? Yes. Now, this is CanadaIndiaEducation.com. They, again, the way previously, many people, they wanted to set up this Canada, study in Canada. And if you'll go to this website also, you will get a lot of things. Apart from that, there are certain scholarships which Canadian universities provide exclusively for Indian students. And what are they? Let's learn that. So when you will see this, you can see this, there is one, it's called as Ontario Trillium Scholarships. How much is the money? Just imagine 40,000 Canadian dollars, right? Per year to cover your tuition and other expenses for 4 years. If you want to study for 4 years, the scholarship can be renewed if you are merited better. Other scholarships, like one is Vanier Canada Graduate Scholarship that provides 50,000 Canadian dollars per year, duration for 3 years. Ontario Graduate Scholarship, this is for post-graduation students like you all. Again, it is 5,000 Canadian dollars per session. For students, it's for students who are pursuing doctoral studies. So my colleagues who have not done doctorate and all, they can apply for this scholarship called as Ontario Graduate Scholarship from Ontario University. Then University of Calgary Graduate Awards. This is also very good, but it keeps on changing. You have to view the website and they will ask, for better. University of Manitoba Graduate Well Fellowship. It's around 14,000 Canadian dollars for master's degree studies and 18,000 Canadian dollars for doctorate degree studies. So if you want to continue a doctorate degree also over there, again, it keeps on reviewing. So you will be getting a lot of opportunities to, pursue, to study this better. So here I end this because I don't want to, like take more time than 1 hour. So I've kept it for 1 hour. So best wishes for a new beginning. And thank you very much for that. Any questions you can.
Ma'am, related to this, I don't think so there is any question. Ma'am, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am. I don't find any
Internship
new
for
questions.
what, ma'am? Yeah, you can check it out, Kashish, in that. Okay, and there are many students saying thank you and all personal note. Thank you so much. You all have attended this. So, okay, how exactly do you apply assistantship or a fellowship? See, students, assistantship and a fellowship, again, it depends on university to university. Like last time, that's what this time I deliberately didn't show you the, what you call it as, the website, because websites, when last time I was showing the website and it was taking a lot of time. And when it takes a lot of time, your interest also diminishes, that I know. So therefore, now I thought if interested, then I will show you the website. So for fellowship and assistantship, you need to go to any university website, any of the university websites. So duration for IELTS core, I told you, now it is 3 years. Okay, because it has been taken up by somebody else.
Ma'am, there is...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, there is question by Naman Kothari
Yeah.
that, ma'am, is the scholarship on merit basis or lucky draw system?
No lucky draw system is available in anywhere. It's all on the basis of merit. And I told you how to accumulate your merit. That also I taught you, right? You have to accumulate your merit, having a lot of community services, because all these countries, whichever I told, US, Canada, all European countries, they honor you a lot if you have done some community service. So your opportunity in the college is to join NSS or DLLE and get into the community service or WDC, anything, whether it is nature club or your student council, all of them are doing community service. Do community service, have an edge over you on your own merit. And apart from that, yes, your CGPA matters. Your CGPA matters a lot. And of course, the standardized test score do matter a lot. So I think this time you're pretty clear about this GRE GMAT confusion, which last time you had. Am I right? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am. I don't think so there is any question related to that test.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there is one last question by Anushka.
Yeah.
She's asking, so do you send in an application to the university? That is the last question, I believe, in the chat box.
No, there are many privately. There are many students. You can ask to any, to everyone, because so that everybody will learn. Direct messages, many are coming. I don't know why. Last time I said Nihita, should any extra? Okay. No, let me answer this. I will only answer this because questions काफी है. Questions काफी है.
Ma'am, I cannot see any. Means I can just see only one or two questions.
Direct messages.
Achha,
oh
okay,
my God! After Ashwini putting this thing, do you send any in an application? This is what Anushka asked. No, this is the public.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Send in an application to university. Okay, Anushka, as far as USA is concerned, I told you just have one-stop destination, which is there in Nariman Point, that is United States India Education Foundation. I repeat, and all teachers of management teachers, all BMS teachers, you all can repeat this. This is United States India Education Foundation. We started it along with our first Prime Minister of India, and they are one-stop destination. If you don't want to pay any consultation fee and all, they will guide you throughout. They are the best people. Because I know when I wanted to present this, I approached them and they've really helped me out. Now, there is another question for me. That is the duration for IELTS score. I told you, IELTS and TOEFL, it was 2 years. Now it is extended to 3 years. Due to pandemic, it may change. 2 years hota. Okay, thank you. Then, are scholarships available during pandemic? Yes, scholarships are available during pandemic also, because Europe is now open, Canada is open. They are providing you scholarships and you will be applying for 22-23, isn't it? So for you, scholarship is always available. हाँ, कुछ बोल रहे थे आप?
हाँ, ma'am, there is one more question. Means sorry, I interrupted bit.
No, please.
Yeah, there is one question from Ruben D'Souza, and he's asking, ma'am, do we have to give GMAT or GRE for sports management?
Yes. They have to give GRE, not GMAT. GRE is like, what do you say, a common entrance test kind of thing, no? That is GRE. Okay, but when it comes to GMAT, it is only meant for business students. That is the basic difference, because in my presentation, I have shown this, like what is meant for, what is GRE and what is the difference between GRE and GMAT. Because last time also students had this doubt. So I wanted to clarify that with cost and everything. I have this time bifurcated it. There is one question from, I don't know the name, Snehal, I think, should take any extra course for class for IELTS. IELTS ke liye one-time destination is British Council. Okay, open the website of British Council India. They will give you preparatory lessons. They will give you chapters. And while explaining also towards the end of USA, you know, I have shown you many useful websites, right? In that useful websites, if you want to prepare for IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, there are preparatory classes and it's all free of cost. You need not have to, you know, get into these agencies and waste your money. First, you can say explore in all these areas. And then if somebody is not giving it to you, go for it. Otherwise, don't. And USA, as long as US IEF is giving you the support, so you don't have to go anywhere else. Okay. Then, yeah, could you please share the recordings of this meeting? Nidhi ma'am will be doing the honors. Then I don't know who is this. Nidhi, somebody called as Amay, not from our college, it seems. No?
Yes, ma'am. Amay Gavankar. Currently,
yes,
how many years validity for 12th exam?
That I told you, like 3 years. Now it is 3 years, yeah. But only for the pandemic, it seems like it may be, again, it's normally it is for 2 years. TOEFL and IELTS is only for 2 years. Is there any scholarships based on GMAT and IELTS course? Yes. It is there. It is there. Most of the, you know, like renowned universities are providing scholarships based on the GMAT and IELTS course. So prepare very well. I'll tell you about GMAT. When you prepare for GMAT and GRE students, there are audio lessons. Listen to me. There are audio lessons provided by these agencies, which I told you, the websites. You just put it, your earphones, and then keep walking, learn, very important, because GRE and GMAT has got a very strong quantitative exams. So your math has to be very good. So your maths has to be very, very good if you really want to score well on your GMAT and GRE. So you have to start preparing now. If you are in first year and second year, it is the right time to start prepare for these tests. Devote 1 hour every day for your GMAT and GRE exams, so that, you know, I told you the fees is around more than 18,000 rupees. You know, so one time is okay. And the score is valid for 5 years. So please don't waste your money, isn't it? So very important. Sports management ho gaya, or any other
Ma'am,
things?
there is one more question from Sneha. SICI internship, which you said, can the current TY apply? Third year students can apply.
See, you can try, no doubt, because Canada accepts all 3-year degrees. So why don't you try? There is no problem, because in May also, if I'm not mistaken, you are not a graduate till, right? In May also, you must have given your exams, but you are not a graduate. You just go through the conditions, terms. If you have a valid passport right now with you, I request all those graduates who are in the higher age, like second years, I told you why, because second years always feel that, oh, I don't have any opportunity now to apply and all. But second year students also can apply now, because May that they will be in third year. And I sincerely wish, you know, our college students apply for it, because we will also can say that we are doing this student exchange kind of a program. So yes, you should apply that. SICCI ka this is the latest, and 22nd September is the last. See to it that thoda time lagega, lekin which exam is for MBA for Canada? It is GMAT only. GMAT is a globally recognized one. I'll tell you, more than 1,700 institutions or colleges across the globe accept GMAT scores. And more than 4,000 institutions across the globe accept GRE scores. Because GRE is common, no, it is even for engineering students, it's for arts, and anybody can do that particular test. So that's very important.
Ma'am, there is one question from Shubham Jadhav, which says, ma'am, does any extracurricular activities make any difference?
Yes, it makes a difference. Because when your teacher, for example, Hamid sir is giving you a letter of recommendation, in that Hamid sir is writing that this students I know because he was involved in these activities. Right? For that, if you want to get it, just essay, you are not going to get it, no, from the teacher. You need to be very good, isn't it? If Nidhi ma'am says, like, you know, if the student is very good in incubation activities, You need to have a proof for that. Everything. And especially I told you community services, leadership, like qualities. If you are like a student member and the president of incubation center. So definitely that certificate will be, you can ask for, the college will give you that certificate. And these whole things matters a lot. We don't realize this. Any more questions?
Ma'am, I believe you have answered every question. Means there is a repetitive question. So
CK
yeah.
Internship, which you said, can the current TY, that you asked
Yes,
me,
ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Extracurricular activity wala bhi ho gaya. Yes, ma'am.
And do banking and insurance in Canada or America? See, there are courses in banking. Insurance, I don't know. I have not come across such kind of insurance courses, but there may be. Again, university to university, bacha, it refers, so you can again check into the university website. And if you belong to our own college, you can come and meet me. We can sit together and I can show you the universities where it is actually being provided. So there is no problem about that.
Ma'am, there is one question from Ruben, which says, ma'am, is work experience required for applying in Canadian universities?
Not necessary. But for example, if I am applying for PhD, my doctorate degree or my postdoctoral degree, so my research activities as a teacher, as professor, that matters. That's my work experience. But students who want to continue their masters over there, they generally don't. But yes, it also matters a lot. It matters a lot.
I guess, ma'am, we are done with all the questions, ma'am.
I mean, questions were too much.
Yeah, actually.
That was too good. And I enjoyed taking the session because they asked many questions to me.
Yes.
Yes.
And they are till the end, everyone is listening to the answer. That is also there.
Yeah. That's because they wanted to know more on Canada and USA. And I think teachers also learned a lot about this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It was actually indeed a very enriching session, ma'am.
I feel that it was very enriching and it was very informative session. I believe it is informative. I always wanted to make things informative than the other sessions. So could you please share the recording? Some Ame is again asking. Yes, BMS department who have organized this, they will definitely share the recording. Like last time they have shared the recordings. This time too they will share. Knowledge will be shared always. I hope it was useful, Ame. He's again personally asking me the recording.
Okay, ma'am. So thank you very much. Now I would invite Hamid sir to formally propose the vote of thanks. And before the vote of thanks, I request all the participants to kindly fill up the feedback form, which is shared in the chat box. Hamid sir, over to you.
I hope I am still audible.
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, one and all. I am Assistant Professor Advocate Hamid Khan, and it's my pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for this wonderful event. I would also like to thank Principal Dr. Sridhara Shetty and Vice Principal Dr. Liji Santosh and Vice Principal Sandesha Shetty of our college. I would like to thank again our resource person, Dr. Liji Santosh ma'am, for sharing her vast knowledge about various universities around the globe. Ma'am, you have covered and lightened up with so many useful information and tips regarding foreign universities in USA and Canada. In the previous session, you have covered almost every continent. So I would also like to thank our coordinator Nidhi Chandorkar ma'am and my colleagues from Department of Management Studies for organizing this webinar and making it a smooth and successful one. So I really thank everyone for this. And I would also like to thank all the participants for joining the session with so much patience and positive vibe and questions for, related to this session and making Liji ma'am answer so much. And she's very happy about it, that she has provided answer for every different kind of questions. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, team, for inviting me. And then it was really nice for me also.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all ours, ma'am. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you.
And ma'am, you have received more questions in private rather than in like
Yes.
the private one, ma'am.
So many questions. So many
Students
questions.
want to contact you directly. I think after this, you're going to, I hope the college would have been, on like offline. Then I think your cabin must have been flooded with students by now.